So yesterday we were inundated with a lot of sometimes really good analysis, strong analysis of the president's first 100 days. This is a standard ritual that we go through, harkening back to Franklin Roosevelt's first famous 100 days. So now every president gets gets judged on that standard, which is fine. But and what did we see? What have we seen from this? And mostly what we've seen is all of these sources just run down a litany of incompetence and bumbling and bad policy and mistakes and errors and instability. And I didn't want to do that video. I don't want to do that video. I'm more interested in larger discourses as a sociologist. I'm more interested in the stories that we tell and how we respond to those stories. And in this case, what I'm interested in this first 100 days has been just the abject cruelty, the unmitigated, unchecked cruelty of this administration and the things that this administration does in our name. Like, take a look at an administration that literally uses the invasion of a smaller country by a larger country, Russia invading Ukraine, and this administration decides to use that as a way to shake down the leader of Ukraine for the mineral rights. Cruelty. Now, look, I'm not naive, I'm not rosy-eyed. Every administration has and performs its share of cruelty, in the service of the country or whatever, and we can debate the ins and outs of these cruel policies. I protested the Iraq War, and I definitely protested Abu Ghraib and that level of cruelty and torture. I also protested President Obama's drone policy and drone assassination policy. Every administration has layers of cruelty that is part of their administrative toolbox. But they usually downplay it. They usually try to keep it hidden, or they try to justify it in some way, shape, or form, and present this as, yes, this is cruel, but this is a necessary evil that we kind of have to do, and we don't really want to do it, but we just got to. But this administration isn't doing that. This administration is just reveling in the cruelty. When this administration grabs people from the street and disappears them to a Central American torture prison, and then has the dictator of El Salvador in the White House laughing in our faces about it. That's cruelty. The shutting down of asylum laws, the ICE raids, attacks against children, deporting a 4-year-old cancer patient, and reveling in it. That's the difference with this administration. That's what this last 100 days has revealed. And we knew the administration would be cruel. There was no doubt about it. They ran on cruelty. Their entire campaign was about how they're going to be cruel to those people. We're going to give those people what they deserve, the cruelty they deserve. What's interesting to me, and what I find of greater importance in the administration's cruelty, is the embrace of cruelty among the MAGA movement. I've been studying social movements my entire life. And the applause that the president's cruelty gets from his base is of interest to me. And it reminds me of, the story, we read the histories of the gladiatorial games and the people cheering the bloody contests. And we hear about, in the Middle Ages, the brutal public punishments that people were subjected to, and the crowd of people there cheering and on, yay, he got disemboweled, yay. Yeah. The reign of terror and the people coming to watch the guillotines lopping off heads of people. We hear about that cruelty. And that's well recorded in our history. What's not real well recorded in our history was the people that didn't show up. The people that didn't show up and countenance that kind of cruelty and those kinds of assaults against bodies, right? The guillotining, the public executions. There were probably people who didn't show up. There may have been people who were there who didn't cheer. Yeah, those are the people that are interesting to me. So when I look at MAGA and I see them cheering, hey, the 4-year-old cancer patient, his mother shouldn't have brought him here, and applauding, that's what I'm thinking about. That corner of any given society that revels in cruelty being inflicted on the other, and is willing to cheer, and is willing to elevate their leadership to positions of power based on that cruelty. That's where we are. So that means those of us who are appalled by that level of cruelty need to organize and need to work to reestablish our nation as a nation that doesn't pander to cruelty.